good. Now we'll open it up for questions. Go to Jared in the back.
Jared Smalley from NBC in Columbus. Welcome.
Thank you.
The first question is obvious. Why? Why Columbus? There were options for you, obviously, for a number of avenues, including where you were previously. What made this offer the one that attracted you?
Yeah, not so much the offer. I mean, I've gotten to play here many times, and every time I play here, it's a lot of fun to play here. You know, the fans are into it, and you know, they got a lot of buzz there in the arena. So I was really excited about that. They got a good young group here. You know, I think that attracted me a little bit too. And you know, me and my wife thought it was a really good fit for us. We looked at some other options, but I think this was the best one for us personally and where we're at in our life, and just made the most sense.
Go to Bob back right.
Thanks, Johnny. Bob Kendrick, ABC6. Congratulations on making a great decision.
Yeah, thank you.
Try to get used to the cannon eventually.
Pardon?
I'm just curious about what happens in locker rooms around the league regarding Columbus. What do you think the reputation is? Because there's a narrative here that big players don't want to come here. What are you actually hearing in locker rooms?
I mean, I wanted to come here. I mean, this was always a place circled on, you know, on my list, and I'm not really sure about any other players. I don't know, you know, in locker rooms, we're not talking about why people don't want to come to Columbus. It's not a topic in the locker room, to be honest with you. But for me, I just heard so many great things from past former players, and it made me feel really comfortable with my decision to come here.
Next question. Back center, Craig Murs.
Craig Murs, NHL.com. Johnny, what are you looking for in a center? And as you look at the Blue Jackets roster, what do you know about the centers here?
Yeah, it's obviously, you know, something I'm excited about is, you know, playing with a, you know, new group of guys. Obviously, not more coaches. That's coaches, you know, his spot to decide where everyone's playing. But, you know, they got some, you know, really skilled forwards up front, and you know, Liney's got probably one of the best shots in the league, probably after Ovechkin, and the way he snaps the puck and gets it off so quickly. You know, those are players you want to play with. I consider myself kind of a playmaker. You know, try to move the puck a little bit more. I get in trouble sometimes passing too much. My dad always gives me a hard time. He says, shoot the puck. But, you know, I like passing, and you know, when you have a scorer like that, I mean, you might want to dish it a little bit more.
Go ahead, Bailey.
Bailey Johnson from the Columbus Dispatch. You mentioned that it being a young group here attracted you. What about that attracted you to coming here?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential. You know, I thought it was a good spot for me personally. I think, you know, we can have a lot of success here. I think it's like I said, it was somewhere that I had circled on my list for a while now, and it's not only from what I've heard about the city and where you live, but, you know, they've got good players on this team too. And I'm really looking forward to, you know, jumping in with this group. I've heard a lot of great things. You know, they're a close knit group, and, you know, that's who you want to play with, you know, guys who get along in the locker room and love coming to the rink and working together every single day. And it's just a healthy environment to be around. And, you know, that's exciting to me.
Aaron.
Hey, Johnny, Aaron Portsine with The Athletic. Obviously, this is where you wanted to be. It was your right to choose wherever you wanted to go. Has it hit you yet, since you've signed, just how meaningful it is to the people here that you've picked this place? How much they needed something like this to happen? Has that sunk in? Are you getting a vibe for that?
Yeah, I mean, I got here an hour ago, so, but the warm welcomes were pretty special. I mean, me and my wife had a smile on her face from the moment we stepped in the door with, you know, everyone, you know, being so, you know, nice and welcoming. And I hope people are excited. You know, I'm excited.
And how many of your new teammates have you heard from at this point already?
Yeah, I've heard from about 5 or 6 of them. I had so many texts and calls last night, and so many random Columbus numbers. So I'm trying to call different people back and checking my voicemail. I'm not sure who I'm calling. It was a bit hectic there for an hour or so, but I kind of, slowed down a little bit and finally got to talk to everyone and, texted some of the guys and everyone, like I said, very welcoming and we're excited.
Ken Johnson said this morning he wanted to be private and very careful in his conversations with you about 13 because you're a childhood idol of his. I want to know if that makes you feel old, but also what did you have to give up to get 13 from him, if anything?
Yeah, I guess it makes you feel a little bit older. But no, I to be honest, I remember talking to everyone right after I signed, and I was like, I don't need 13. He can have 13. I feel bad. I don't want to take his number. I'll get a fresh new start, and I'm gonna have to definitely take him out to a couple dinners, and it was very nice, for him to do that, and he didn't have to, but just shows the type of players that are surrounded around here. Guys are willing to do those little things and not expect anything in return, and but I'm gonna have to bring him out a few times.
Jared, back right.
Yarmo, just some background for us on the negotiation with Johnny's agent, with how long this process has been underway. When you had a notion that maybe you might be onto something here, can you walk us through the development of how this came together? And then the back part of that question is financially, there's some things to work out, obviously, with the rest of your roster. Can you walk us through that building process, how you'll do it?
Well, when we realized that this was possible and realistic, that we could get this done yesterday in the afternoon, we got to work. We were excited and we had to crunch numbers and look at different things, and we all agreed that we just can't pass on an opportunity like this with a player of his caliber wanting to come here, and obviously he was wanted by a lot of teams, and we've watched him I don't know how many times and with our scouting staff and continued talks with his agent and it came through fairly quickly after we realized that we both wanted this and there was a deal to be made and then we signed it. Yeah, we have a salary cap that we need to work around, but I'm confident that we can get all the work done that we need to get done. And after this press conference, I'll go back to my office.
Next, we'll go to Brian Hedger in the back row center.
Hey, Yarmo. What does this signing do? You've been talking about the reset process for almost 2 years now. And you guys have meticulously laid this thing out, trying to get draft picks and things like that. What does this signing do for the reset process? Like, how does it affect that?
Well, we call it a reset for a reason, and it's totally different than talking about rebuild. And it's supposed to be quicker that way. And we felt that with our group that we had a realistic opportunity to turn it around fairly quickly, which I think we proved to a lot of people last season already, even though we did not make the playoffs. But this gives us a huge boost, obviously. So we're excited about it. And I think, again, we're very careful about the players that we try to sign, trade for, because we want to know about the character and their work ethic and how they fit in the group and how much they love hockey. And that's one thing that I kept hearing about Johnny all the time, that he's a rink rat. He just loves hockey, loves to practice, loves to get better, puts time in every day to get better as a hockey player. That's what our group needs. We were usually pretty careful on the opening day of the free agency when this opportunity was in front of us. We were not careful at all. We went right for it.
Just kind of following up on that, assuming that you can get the line A situation figured out, the cap and all that kind of stuff, when you look at your roster, including line A, do you see a team that could contend for the playoffs next year?
Yeah, I think every year we go with the mindset that we can make the playoffs. Even last year when we didn't make it, or the year before, and that mindset's never going to change. We need to grow. We need to get better every day. That's one thing that I've been talking about every time we've gotten together here with you guys, is that we want to improve every day. And I think we just improved yesterday. And I think that once we get to work in the fall, the process continues and we're going to have a good team.
Is there an ulterior message as well that comes with this signing? And what I'm referencing is all the talk that happened in 2019 about the guys that left and things like that. Is there something with this signing that kind of goes against that, I guess you'd say?
I made a comment yesterday that I get a rash every time I hear the negative comments about Columbus, and it's so unfair because we have a great organization, we have a great city, we have an unbelievable facility that will be even better after we get through the phase 2 this summer. It'll be we'll can put it against anybody's facility in the league, no doubt about it, and that unfair perception somehow becomes truth, which it is not. So, it happens in this league that players get the right to choose where they want to go. Sometimes there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm not going to go back to talking about players leaving at 2019. Sometimes players leave, people think they left, but the reality is that we didn't even offer a contract. But we don't talk about that because it would not be professional, and that's the way I'm going to keep it in the future too. But Columbus is a great city. We have a great organization. We have a great head coach. We have a good team, and we're going to keep getting better.
Go to Jeff here, front left.
Johnny, Jeff Salota, BlueJackets.com. Hearing Yarmo talk there, that is kind of a thing that this organization has really had to wear a lot over the years. And you kind of asked us a little bit ago, but as you hear Yarmo talk about all of the great things that are here, just how much did you know about all that kind of stuff when you were coming in? And did you kind of see that framework there, that really this would be a place that there was a lot there that maybe people may not have realized if they hadn't looked closely at this organization?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I only got to play here once a year, and it was from the hotel back to the rink and then back to the hotel. So I've never been to Columbus before that, but throughout the summer, I did my homework on, places that I thought were good for me, and talked to some, former players. And after hearing some of the things, I mean, I was telling people in there, I was like, after every time I talked to a different person about the city, it seemed like the person I was talking to was more excited than the last person I was talking to. And like I said, it sounded like a perfect spot for us. And we're so excited, and it's going to be a special place for us, I think. And it's hard not to like what we've seen already today. So it's been great.
And some of those guys you mentioned a little bit, some of the guys but just thinking about, I was talking to Sean Corrali earlier, who you played with in World Juniors, and Eric Robinson, you've known growing up. I mean, it really is a place we already have a lot of context. How much does that excite you, where you're able to come in and have some of those relationships already built?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of guys that I played with before, and it's change is hard sometimes, but when you have familiar faces, it just makes it so much easier. And I was super excited about Columbus, but after you see some of the guys that you played with before, and how they are good players, and they help your team win games. Those are guys who you want to play with and go to battle with, and that was exciting as well.
Go to Bailey, second right.
Johnny, there's a video that's been making the rounds of you getting a little startled by the cannon last time you were here. Is it safe to assume you're going to make peace with it now that you're here?
Yeah, I was a lot of jokes about that already. I'm gonna have to get used to that for sure. It's scared me one too many times here, so I'm gonna maybe sit in the arena for 5-10 minutes one day and just let it blast off as much as I can to get ready for it.
Eric.
Johnny, what is your message for the people of Calgary? I'm sure you have great memories of that place. You had a long time there. What would you say to them today that may be hurting a bit, or a little curious as to why the decision was made?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I was, not going to, kind of talk about today. I wanted to just focus on Columbus, and then I was going to, get to that after. But Calgary is a special place for me. I was part of their organization for 12 years. And I loved every second I was there. But for me, I think it was just time for me to make a little bit of a change, I think. I'll leave it at that, but it was a special place for me. I loved it there. The fans were great to me. Yeah.
Jared, back right.
Johnny, the league is sort of one of those fraternities where players tend to know each other, whether they're on the same team or different teams. There's sort of a fraternity environment there for players. How well do you know this roster? Are there certain guys that you have a backstory with, some relationship with? Is it all new? Can you walk us through some of those relationships that might be pre-existing?
Yeah, I mean, mostly a lot of new faces, but there are a handful of guys that I've played with on this roster, and Rensky played with the World Championships one year. Branson was all last year, and I think he's just a great signing. He's such a good person and a good person to be around, and a good player too, and protects his teammates, and he does a good job at the rink. So, but like I said, I mean, there's a few other guys, but I'm excited. I'm excited to meet the new guys that I haven't played with yet, and see some old familiar faces, and get to work.
Brian Hedger, center back.
Hey, Johnny, right over here. Brian Hedger from the Columbus Dispatch. Just kind of curious, this is an off the wall one a little bit, but during your process of kind of checking out Columbus and seeing what they had here, how much did you kind of learn or know about the renovations that they're doing, like the locker room stuff and all the things that are kind of going on right now?
I've learned about it today when I was walking in. I mean, it's obviously great to have those things, but for me, that wouldn't make my decision. I'm pretty straightforward. I want to play hockey, and that's the most important thing. And I want to win games, and it's obviously great to have those things. You always love to see that, but I'm really focused on hockey. I want to win, and that's the most important thing for me.
I'll ask you kind of the same thing I asked Yarmo. When you look at the team that you're about to join with yourself in there, do you feel like this could be a playoff team pretty quick?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, I gotta, get used to, new things, how all the systems work and stuff like that. But I mean, it's hard to make the playoffs in this league, and I've been there before where you're sitting at the bottom of the standings, and it's hard to come to the rink and go to practice when you're out of playoffs. So and it stings and it hurts, and you sit with it all summer and it just eats away at you. And but that just gets you ready for next season. And I'm so excited to, I think we have a good group here. I think it's time for me to kind of get familiar with everything and all the new people and stuff like that. And this is a great start, today. But I want to get back there, and I didn't come to Columbus to check out the views. I came here to win hockey games, and that's important to me.
Anything else from anybody here? Johnny and Yarmo, once they're done, will be done. We won't have time for individuals today. He's got a pretty tight schedule. Johnny and Meredith are flying back this afternoon. So last call.
Say one more thing that, I'd like to thank our ownership. I think feel privileged to work for the McConnell family, and they're committed to winning. And that's the most important thing for a general manager, to have ownership like that, and for the whole team, the whole management group, and our players, that to see that the ownership's committed to winning. They want to win the Stanley Cup. They want to bring the Stanley Cup to Columbus.
With that, we're going to take a few questions from Zoom. First, we'll go to Stephen Wino. Go ahead, Stephen.
Thanks, Todd. Yarmo, you've mentioned being careful in free agency before, but does a signing like this make it even more important, knowing that you have the salary cap space, that you've managed the cap so well to be able to make a move like this?
Yeah. If you didn't have room or potential to make room, you wouldn't have this type of opportunities. And it's not an easy world when you have good players. That's a great problem to have if you have too many good players. And then time comes, especially in these days when the salary cap's been flat, that something has to give if you want to be under, and you have to be under. You can't be over. So that's a lot of it is timing too. We're going through this process that we've been calling reset, and that's part of the reason why we've had some flexibility, but it's going to get a little tighter now.
Next, we'll go to Nick Katsanika. Go ahead, Nick.
Johnny, I think you can sense the tone of how big a deal this is in Columbus, and I'm just curious about the responsibility that you have now in the coming years to be a difference maker. Do you feel that responsibility? And what do you think you can do on and off the ice to help this franchise take the next step?
Yeah, I think, I mean, like you said, I always want to be a difference maker on the ice. That's, kind of been my game throughout my whole career. I want to, find a way to, push our team to be a little bit better and, get that game winning goal or make a nice play in the offensive zone to try to get a goal or big play in the D zone. But, little things like that. I mean, that's what, makes you a good hockey player. And, I'm really looking forward to, just, working hard, trying to, show maybe some of the younger guys or whoever, that how committed I am to, to trying to win hockey games.
Next with Eric Francis. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, Johnny, congratulations on your new deal. You touched on it very briefly on why you decided to leave Calgary, but if I could just press you on a few more details on why you decided to leave Calgary and why it took so long for you to make that tough decision.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. I mean, it went right down to probably 11 o'clock the night before free agency where I decided I wasn't going to go back. It was a really hard decision, but, something that me and Meredith, we talked about for a long time there. It was difficult, but it was the best for us. And, we were super excited with, being able to sign here in Columbus. We were, like I said before, they were one of the teams that we were really interested in. And when they called, we had all smiles yesterday. So it was exciting.
Next we'll go to Wes Gilbertson. Go ahead, Wes.
Johnny, just to follow up on Eric's question, I'm curious, coming off a career season for you personally, coming off a team that, finished at the top of the Pacific Division, can you just expand on what you said earlier and that you decided that now would be a good time for a change for you? Can you just expand on why that was at this time?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it was a hard decision. Calgary was a great place to me and my wife, and talking to my family, talking to Meredith, it was like I said. I mean, it was the right move for us, and I don't know. That's all I can really tell you guys.
Next we'll go to Dan Rosen. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Johnny, congratulations. There was a lot of talk when it came out that you weren't going to go back to Calgary about how, well, Johnny's going to want to go home. And last I checked, Columbus is not exactly home. It's closer than Calgary, but it's not home. How was there a pull to come further east at all, or was this the place and you were just waiting for them to show the interest?
Like I said, I mean, I've always wanted to play relatively a little bit closer, and I think the East was, I grew up here, not in Columbus, but on the East Coast, and it's somewhere I always wanted to play. And I was in Calgary for 8 to 12 years there, from when I got drafted to when I started playing, and I always kind of dreamed about playing a tad closer to home. But I mean, it didn't matter where I was signing. I think our decision was it was best for us not to go back to Calgary, and then we decided to figure out what was the best option for us, and Columbus was right up on the top of the list there, and had no reason on whether it was close to home or not. They were a team that I was really excited about.
Okay, we've got time for one more. We'll go to Kobe Meyer. Go ahead, Kobe.
Hey, Johnny, Kobe Mayer from First Ohio Battery. Congrats on the new contract and welcome to Columbus. I was just wondering, Eric and Branson talked yesterday about the importance of, him, he's starting a family, and how Columbus appealed to him in that aspect. Is that something that you heard from him when you were coming here?
Yeah, I've heard from him, and like I said a little earlier, I heard from a lot of past players here, and I feel like it doesn't get as much recognition as what I've heard from all these guys, and it really made us excited. We were really excited about choosing Columbus and coming here, and we're really looking forward to start the season off and get going.